Hello! Today we're starting our Chapter 6 Solving Equations unit. So if you haven't already, put your name on the front of your packet where it says name, and then my name where it says teacher. And then open to page 1. So the first thing we're going to focus on is solving one-step equations. So this is something that you should have learned in 6th grade. And we're just kind of brushing over in 7th to get you ready for two-step equations. So, the goal of solving any one-step equation or any equation in general is to get the variable alone. In other words, you'll hear this a lot, isolate the variable. What that means is get it alone. So the golden rule is what you do to one side of the equal sign, you must do to the other. And what is the opposite of 7? That would be -7. And the opposite of -7 would be 7. And what happens when you add opposites together? You'll always get 0. And we call that, hopefully we remember, a zero pair. It's important to know what zero pairs are and what opposites are for this specific lesson for one-step equations, adding and subtracting. So here's an example of an addition one-step equation. In any equation, the first thing I want you to always do is to circle a variable and then draw a line down from the equal sign. The reason we circle the variable is for the goal. We want to get the variable alone. And the reason we draw a line down from the equal sign is because you want to separate the equation into two pieces, the left side of the equal sign and the right side of the equal sign. Because of the golden rule, what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So that kind of sets us up for solving equations in the correct way by circling the variable and drawing a line down from the equal sign. So again, the goal here is to get x by itself, meaning there's nothing else on that side of the equal sign, because then in the end your answer should look like this, x equals something. So to get rid of that +8, now some of you know this, you're sitting there listening thinking, I know what to do. To get rid of that +8, you need to subtract 8, or add -8, however you want to think of it. Because when you add opposites together, you will always get 0, and that's what you want. 8 minus 8 is 0, so we're left on the left-hand side with just x, and that means we kind of we reached our goal of getting the variable by itself. So, but because of the golden rule, what you do to one side of the equal sign, you must do to the other. So we subtracted 8 on the left, we have to subtract 8 on the right. And that's how we actually get our answer. So 18 minus 8 gets us 10. So x is equal to 10. Okay, and let's try subtracting. So circle a variable, draw a line down from the equal sign. Now this is the opposite of addition. So we have a -10. To get rid of that, we need to add 10 to that. That cancels out. And because we did that on the left, we have to do it on the right. And we have x is equal to 35. So how should you represent your answer? You should always represent it as a variable equals a number. So whether it's x, a, b, or whatever, you need to write, you can't just write 10, you can't just write 35, you have to write the variable equals. And now this I used to be much more strict about, but once you solve, you must remember to check your answer. Now, I will show you how to check, but it's not mandatory anymore. It's useful, but not mandatory. So let's go back up here, and I'll show you what I mean by checking your answer. I don't know why I'm so out of breath. So to check your answer, you do 3 things. You rewrite the equation. You replace the variable with your answer. So we got 10, so I'd replace x with 10. And then you solve it. So well, we don't have to solve this side. This side is just 18, but this side we can. 10 plus 8 is equal to 18. And because 18 does equal 18, it checks out. Now let me show you what would happen if you got something other than 18. Say our answer was 9. We would check. We'd be okay. And then we'd plug in 9 plus 8 is equal to 18. And then we're like, oh, wait a second. That's not working out. So we would know I have to do something, or I did something wrong. So you'd go back and check. So that's how you check. Useful, but not mandatory. All right, so steps to solving one-step equations is you perform the opposite operation to both sides of the equal sign, and then you check. Again, really, it's just this one. Those of you who really like to know if you got your answer right, that would be useful. And then steps checking your answer, rewrite the equation, replace the variable, that's an R, with your answer, and then solve each side of the equal sign. Okay, so to finish up this lesson, I'm going to do these 4 with you, and then I'll have you try some on the back of this. So number 1, again, you're circling the variable, drawing a line down from the equal sign. You're trying to get rid of the positive 3 because it's near the y. You're trying to get rid of it. So to get rid of it, you do the opposite of addition, which is subtraction. So subtract 3 from both sides. This cancels out. Y is equal to 6. Number 2, circle the variable, draw the line down from the equal sign. Now be careful with this one because you want to do the opposite of whatever's in front of the number you're trying to get rid of. So we're trying to get rid of this number. So we need to do the opposite of that. The opposite of negative 8.3 is positive 8.3. And you do that to both sides. A lot of people would get confused because they see this plus and they're like, oh, minus. But when you minus 8.3 from negative 8.3, you don't get 0, and that's the goal here. So that cancels out. A is equal to, oh gosh, what is this, 11.1? 11.1. Okay. All right, here we have one with the fractions. So circle the variable, draw the line down. Again, we're trying to get rid of this, so opposite. That cancels out. M is equal to negative 1 1/4. And the last one, circle the variable, draw the line down. This is a plus, we're trying to get rid of it. Minus 6.57. And can I do that in my head? No. Don't mind me. 1.43. Except minus 6 this one. And there we go. Alright, so if you're having trouble with any of the ones on the back, I suggest rewinding and going back to see some of these examples that should help you. Okay, so just remember to always perform the opposite operation of the number in front of the variable. So let's see what's on the back. I'd like you to try as many of these as you can. What's going to happen is you're probably going to, I'm probably going to call you up in smaller groups, and we're going to see how far you got and see if you can practice any of these, or if you got to practice, or if you need help, or that type of thing. So do as many as you can on this page from numbers 5 to 16. Good luck.